Hey YouTube, here's a quick tour of my home theater and audio setup. So let's get right into it. So I've started collecting some gear since 2014. I started with a very basic home theater setup, and through the years I got interested with music setup or audio. So I've acquired some gears. I've also created a previous video of since 2015, then followed by the next year. So some of the gears here are still relatively the same, but I've added some few additions. Now to start with, I have a TCL 4K capable television. This is where I watch most of my movies. I'm using an HTPC, which I'll be discussing later. Now, previously I was using a Samsung 32-inch TV, so this was a better upgrade. Now, for my center speaker, I'm using a B&W HTM62. This is smaller compared to its bigger brother, which is the HTM61, but it offers a powerful and precise audio during movies. It has also a I think it's a Kevlar material. Now for my fronts, I'm using a Sony SS-X9S speakers. Yeah, it's a three-way floor stander. Has a maximum output of 250 watts into 8 ohms. Weighs about 61 pounds and about 39 inch in height. It has a veneer finish and also has a Kevlar material. Its strengths are punchy and has a control base, but in my observation it lacks some treble and high range. Now for my subwoofer, I'm using a Polk Audio ASW250. This is a 10-inch downfiring subwoofer. Weighs about 32 pounds and has 100 watts RMS. It takes just a small space, and it's not the most rattling subwoofer, but it gets the job done when I'm watching some movies. Now I've got here also a for my surrounds, it's a B&W DM600S3 speakers. I'm using this for my surround. It's a two-way 8 ohms 100 watts speakers. Now for my audio setup, I'm using a Polk Audio RTIA7. This is again a three-way floor standing speakers. It's about 42 inch in height. It's an 8 ohm speakers. Has a veneer finish also. Has a 1-inch tweeter and 6.5 mid-range and a dual 7-inch woofers. It's capable of by-wire for more optimal audio performance. So again, most of my audio listening, I'm using this Polk Audio RTIA7. So for home theater, this is my receiver. It's an Onkyo TX709 7.2 network receiver. This is relatively an older model. It's still not an utmost capable, but again, I'm happy with this performance. I got this on sale about 3 years ago, and it still works for my needs. So this has an 8 HDMI inputs. Again, as I've said, it's also network capable. It supports 7.2 multi-channel setup. Yes, it supports 2 subwoofers, and it's already a THX certified receiver. Has a dedicated phono input, and this is about 170 watts. Now I've got also here for music listening. I'm using an integrated amplifier from NAD. This is a NAD 375B integrated amplifier. This offers about 150 watts of continuous power into 4 or 8 ohms. It has 7 line inputs, and the good thing about this one is it has a built-in DAC for my digital files. This also supports A and B speakers. Now, I'm also using a cassette deck. This is a Pioneer cassette deck, and I've got a Marantz tuner. It's an ST6000 model, and I've got here a Pioneer CD player, a PD217 model. Now this one I'm using a for my movies. I'm using a home theater PC. This is where I source my movies through an Asus Store NAS, and this gets the job done for my home theater needs. Here is my favorite bookshelf speakers for audio listening. This doesn't need much introduction. It's a KEF LS50 speakers. So I got this recently, and this is most of the time my daily driver for audio listening. Again, this is the KEF LS50. So this is an SMSL Bluetooth receiver. So sometimes when I'm using my smartphone, so I connect through this Bluetooth receiver going to my NOD integrated amp for digital listening. Listening to my music, most of the time I switch speakers. Just play with different speakers. So one of the speakers that I'm using is an Infinity Kappa 200. This is a 6 ohms two-way bookshelf speakers. So I like this speakers. I got this on sale previously, and I also have a JBL PT800 stand mount speakers. So in place with the Polk Audio RTIA7, I play with these two speakers, the JBL PT800 and the Infinity Kappa 200. Here's another bookshelf two-way speakers. It's a Pioneer SX55. When I want to play with speakers, this is one of the speakers that I play with. It would pass like a vintage speakers. So again, the Pioneer SX55. I'm using a smaller sub for audio listening. This is a Velodyne Impact 10. It's a front-firing 8-inch subwoofer. When I'm listening to my digital files through my Asus Store NAS, I'm using this laptop together with an IFI iDAC2 digital to analog converter paired with an IFI Ipurifier2 to amplify the signal. So I'm using an HTPC sometimes, and this setup for my digital files listening. For analog listening, I have a Sony 2310 turntable. This is already a vintage turntable, and I pair it with a brick phono preamp. I also have here a Denon CD player. This is a DJ type of CD player. Plays MP3, and my most favorite amplifier is this tube amplifier, the Dynaco ST70. It's 35 watts per channel amplifier. I got this restored from Rene Rivo. The cage was powder coated, the chassis was chrome, the power cable was changed, and I upgraded the capacitors to audio grade. And I've got here as a phono, as a preamp, I'm using a NAD326B integrated amplifier, but I'm using it as a preamp. I also got here a Onkyo TX720 integrated amp, And down below, I have a Denon D-9000 CD player. Again, this is a DJ type CD player. So for music listening, mostly I'm using this analog turntable together with the Dynaco ST70 tube amplifier. For my rear speakers for home theater, I'm using a TSI Polk Audio TSI 100. It's a bookshelf speakers. It's connected through the wall. So I've got this for a few years already. And again, this is the Polk Audio TSI 100. And there you go. This is my home theater and audio setup. There's a lot of weaknesses for my setup. I have very limited budget and I have space constraints. But who knows, whenever I have a better budget and a better space, I might upgrade all of this setup. Now, let me know your comments below on how I could further maximize my current setup. I know I have some very poor placements, and I do need some acoustics treatments for this room. As you can see, I have a very small space, but when space and budget constraints, I'm planning to upgrade this. And also, I think in the next few months, I'll be getting a better rack for this part, and also for my integrated, my setup here for my integrated amplifiers. I'm planning also to get a better rack, so it would simplify the arrangements. So once again, this is my audio and home theater setup. Please let me know your comments below on how I could maximize and improve better my setup. Thank you.